You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast, brought to you by bringingdowntheband.com. No bad ideas, Coleman Dental and Printfinity. I am Major 7th. I make beats and I have the t-shirts to prove it. And to my left, as always, is the one and only Lonegevity.
Hello.
I didn't mean to stop y'all conversation.
Hello.
There.
He wasn't plugged in.
It was
just an observation that happened.
Okay, so you weren't plugged in?
I wasn't.
But hello.
How you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Shout out to that Decademics t-shirt. We see you, Metronome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir Charles.
Decademics.
I mean, Sir Doug.
Yeah, they doing their thing over there.
Yep.
To my left, as always, one and only DJ Jay Diff.
Salutations.
I like your t-shirt, brother.
Yeah, actually, I have the t-shirt to prove it now.
Look out now. I see what you did there.
Nice.
I see what you did there. That is
yeah.
nice. I see, you moving up in the world when you got your own logo on a t-shirt.
Yeah, man. I'm
sponsored by your own company.
Everybody's logo on shirts for the right price.
Okay.
That's right.
So
shout out to Printfinity doing their thing out there in the streets.
Thank you.
To my right, as always, the incomparable DJ Spoolz.
Hello, Michael.
How are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We distribute dopeness. We got a lot of merch out here. I see you with that t-shirt.
Yeah,
Product
I like
placement.
this one, man.
Yeah. Where can you get that at, Lonegevity?
It's bringingdowntheband.com,
Okay.
perhaps.
Merchandise and such.
/ shop.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
I think it's /shop. We're currently getting our currently.
Yep. Mark that one down. We'll play that back later.
Let me pull the curtains back.
Hey,
We are currently getting the site kind of reworked right now by a good friend of mine. So we are improving speed and getting some nonsense taken care of. So
Are there any new features, or is this more about just performance overall for the site?
performance.
Performance.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It'll allow us to. It'll allow me to log into the back end without the site crashing. So that's a good thing.
We don't like crashes.
Nah.
Okay.
And there are some artists that we have not forgot about you as far as getting you on the site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just
This has been
some
going
things
on. This has been going on for like 2-3 weeks. So
yeah. So
For all the artists that are watching or might inquire about how to submit music, what are the specifics in terms of how they submit? Is it just go to the email, go to the site?
the website has all the details.
Gotcha.
So if you
Okay.
if you literally put forth the effort to go to the website, and then you say, "Oh, contact, submissions," then it's all written out there. So we have a form.
Nice.
We have a form on the site. We don't accept email submissions, because the problem with email submissions is people will send them to you in different formats, and when you're somebody who goes through and checks submissions, you want it to be uniform, so you know what you can check and click through real fast.
So-
and it might not have all the information that you need in order to make a solid post.
yeah,
So are we looking for the highest quality MP3?
we're looking for high quality music, but high quality, not just MP3.
I see what you did there. I like that though.
We have. It's also it's also the image that you share with us, your promotional picture,
Okay.
all that stuff. So it's all listed on the submission page, everything that you need, and we literally, I have details on everything that you need to have for me to even read your post.
I know we always have a rundown, but you just kind of touched on something that I think is very important in terms of artist development.
Mm-hmm.
And it's key to it's the attention to detail. It is the effort that you put in for your product, being the highest quality MP3, whether it's the artwork, everything is in the presentation. And I always tell people that are up and coming, or people that are striving to be in music, you have to put effort into your product and your presentation, because the presentation speaks volumes to who you are. Like, to me, whenever I see anything new, or I listen to something new, or something comes across the screen, or somebody shares an image, I'm looking at the quality. I don't know, Spoolz, you might be able to jump in, but I look at the quality of the artwork. I look at the quality of the MP3, how it sounds, how it's mixed, how it's mastered. To me, all those things are vital in your presentation in terms of how you'll be received.
I want to
Fair?
say this too real quick, as far as bringing down the band is concerned.
Yes.
We actually listen to people that have been submitted to the blog
Yeah.
Okay.
and share what we think is dope.
Okay.
So it's not like everything we get is out there.
Mm-hmm.
We actually spend a little time to actually listen to people's work and
Yeah.
So are you guys looking
give it a
for?
thumbs up.
So in terms of the website, are we looking for kind of stuff I just talked about, or is it just overall?
No, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, there
It's
are
that.
certain things that we'll share without necessarily combing it with a fine comb.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Toothed.
fine tooth comb.
There's always
Sorry.
that one person, man.
No, there
It's
was just
always
I was trying to help. I just was late.
There's always that one kid that just makes fun of everybody.
I wasn't making, man.
Anyway,
You'll have
Whatever, man.
you'll have your chance, Spoolz.
But anyway,
it's gonna
no.
come back around. Go ahead.
for the
I'm sorry.
most part, we definitely do screen what we share and,
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
and honor the dopeness.
It's
Word.
and to his point, it can take up to a month for us to share your music if we like it, because one, we do listen to everything, and we have a 2-tiered process to go through submissions. So if you submit something to us, we listen to it, and then what I do is I listen to the first one, and then I forward it, and I'll forward it to another queue, and if it's on the fence of whether I kind of like it, maybe that's like my first thought. It's like, do I like it or not? And if it's a no, I delete it.
Initial reaction.
If it's a delete, or if they don't give me everything I need, it's an automatic delete. Actually, that's the first thing. If you don't give me everything that I require in the submission process, I automatically delete it. If we require at least 750 pixels, high res image, if you send it 725, I delete it.
So it is
Sometimes
important.
I get around that.
I
A
don't.
little sleuthy.
I delete it.
So you
So
so
I
you
delete
go
it.
hard. You go
Yeah,
hard.
Sean definitely is the.
But
he's not playing around.
but
That's fair. That's fair.
as an artist myself, I know how important that stuff is.
Very.
And it gauges your and I know a lot of artists are do it themselves, but at the same time, it's important, and it's important to
Definitely.
understand how organizations such as Bringing Down the Band, or even bigger organizations that don't check every submission, actually work.
Spoolz, I want to throw it to you about, I guess, just to kind of piggyback off what we're talking about in terms of the importance of the presentation. Are there certain things that you look for on an artist, whether it be a new artist or just even someone that you're somewhat familiar with? Are there certain things that jump out to you in terms of their presentation when you initially hear a new record?
Videos have become a lot bigger, just I think over time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean that obviously people have been making music videos for 30-ish years or so, something like that.
Right.
Video
40
killed the
years.
radio star.
So they say.
We see you.
But that's something I think that's been like almost like you have to have videos, man.
Mm-hmm.
And the more
Right.
you can do, the better. And the higher, if you can maintain a high quality, you know what I mean? And obviously, as far as like the music is concerned, like, yeah, I mean, there's, as I've gotten older and hung around guys like, Sean and Terry and like a lot of other people, and just learn to listen for things,
Right.
learn to listen differently, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely changed like I don't take submissions. I don't, I'm affiliated with Bring Down the Band through the podcast, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't listen to the volumes of music that I know these guys do, but I like what I like, and the quality aspect of it that you touched on before is definitely important to me. It's just like a person who likes music. And I
Right.
know going to their site, it's always going to, or, the site,
Right.
our site. No, I'm just kidding. Team.
Teams.
That it is always going to be those things that Terry and Sean just talked about, man. So, high quality.
Yeah.
I want to throw
music.
another tidbit out, and this doesn't even have anything to do with submitting to Bringing Down the Band, but for all my artists that perform,
Okay.
when you come to an event, a lot of people are kind of stuck on bringing a CD to the event for the DJ, whoever's controlling the music, to put on their laptop, whatever instrument they're using to play the music with.
The quote unquote show CD.
Right.
Right.
Everybody should invest in a thumb drive. It's not very expensive. It's going to be compatible with every computer.
You're
that
talking
you
about
put
live shows when
Yeah,
you're
live
DJing.
shows. So
live
if you have
shows,
your
yeah.
set, if you have a set, rather than bringing it to somebody with a CD, bring it on a jump drive. It's going to be just as easy to put it on there as it would be a CD.
Actually, it's
reason
going
why-
to be way
It's
easier.
gonna
Yeah.
take way less time.
A lot of these computers don't have CD drives any longer.
Dude, you know what? And I haven't done as many shows lately, but I used to DJ a ton of shows locally. You know what I mean? Like that.
CD scratch too.
And I got flash drives or thumb drives 85% of the time, I bet.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you know what I
Nice.
used to do, actually, not to, but here's something else along those same lines. Like, get in touch with who's going to be DJing and send the music earlier.
Please.
Nice.
That's what I used to ask
The
people
day
to do
before
for me, man,
sometime,
because
if
like
possible.
it's investing in your own success, and even if it's in just a small way,
Mm-hmm.
you know, computer problems happen. It's good, and and then have a backup on a flash drive, and
Right.
and have a CD if you absolutely have to have one. So, you know what I mean? But
Yep.
preparedness is definitely a
Every
good
beat
thing.
battle
I
I
hate
used,
can you play it off my phone? Like
yeah.
I can try. It's probably not going to sound that great,
At all.
Mhm.
But sure, like
Yeah.
if that's what you want to do.
What are you saying, Lo?
I was at every beat battle I've ever done where we had to have CDJs. I had 2 separate CDs and my music on a flash drive.
Nice.
Every
You know.
cut camp set we do, like the bigger ones that we do, I have it on 1 or 2 jump drives and a CD.
Hmm.
And
And
it-
all the music's there ahead of time.
Yep.
So
Just a little one-on-one. That's all.
I'm gonna go off of what Spoolz was talking about videos.
Please do.
His comment about everybody kind of videos kind of taking over, kind of being a popular, everybody has one these days. That's like 5 years old.
yeah,
And the only reason I say that is because now you can have a video, but your video, it's gotten to the point to where if you legitimately want to stand out, you have to have excellent music and an excellent visual. You can't.
So it's deeper than just a visual.
It is.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot deeper than that now.
I
And
agree,
did-
but I think
but it didn't
assists-
used to be. It didn't
yeah.
used to be.
I agree, and it's been going on for a long time. But and I think to your point, you used to be able to, if you just put out a volume of videos with kind of not so awesome music,
Right.
you were all right. You know what I mean? That really did help a lot. But
Mhm.
to your point, I agree. Like it's got to be the combination of the two, and like high quality video. Like that
Yeah.
Danny Brown video we just saw is
Yeah.
the newer one or whatever. It's
Mhm.
good because it's different, and it's
Yeah.
he's somebody I think that's almost kind of like a good example of that. You know what I mean? I like Danny Brown, so
Yeah. Me too.
but his videos are all they're not all the same, man. And
You gotta have a creative aspect to it. Just like, just because he just dropped a new album, I'm gonna bring him up. Tyler, the Creator.
Yes.
another kind of interesting example of that too. Yeah.
Yes.
Every one of his videos, even to the first video, Yonkers.
Oh, dude,
Yep.
I still like
He
that song.
sat in a room, dark room, is gray, but that video really captured the sound of that song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's evolved way past that. He has some of the most creative videos out there. But him not having a budget at that time created something that really made that video jump out.
And I think that's followed him. So
Yeah.
now, I guess I would compare it to how Missy Elliott was. You remember how Missy's
Missy
videos
came out
were?
with a budget, though.
She had a budget, but I'm
Mhm.
just saying if we want to talk about videos that actually stand out. To
Yeah.
your point, I feel you in terms of how he did it. He probably had to think even harder because he didn't have $2 million to go spend on a video,
Right.
a la Janet Jackson and Busta.
Yeah, Hype Williams wasn't directing his first joint.
But that's followed him because now there's an expectation where it's like, what is Tyler gonna do next? Like the joint, Who That Boy that he just did with
with
A$AP
A$AP
Rocky.
Rocky.
That video was crazy with the
Mhm.
face being sewn on and all that. And somebody produced the hell out that beat too. So shout out to the producer. But I saw the video. I was like, yo, this is dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it stood out to me.
And that goes to my concurrent technology
Look out now. I see you.
technology comment, because as it continues to be the attention spans of everybody, like
Microwave.
you've got to be able to grab people's attention, and to grab people's attention you have to have great product, and the product is not just a good song.
Yep.
Right.
It's good working with a good artist, good videographer with good ideas.
Yeah, that's another
and-
thing. People need to I know we're kind of in the age where you have to wear a bunch of different hats. You got to be able to do this. You got to be able to do that. You got to be able to do this.
Facts.
But there's certain things that you're not going to be able to see.
That's true.
So it makes sense for you to have somebody else on the team that might be able to see something a little different than you.
Mhm.
It kind of leads you down that direction. I mean, it's still yours.
And not be too egotistical. To
Exactly.
Not,
Teams are really important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that actually prior to coming on to tape for today's episode, and I think this is a good conversation because we're trying to. Some people just don't have a clue as to how to do a project or how to go about artwork or the importance or the attention to detail. There are some people that just don't understand that. So I think it's dope that we can try to bounce ideas and kind of help people that aren't, that versed in the process. But we talked about the importance of a team and how sometimes yes men can actually hinder product.
They often hinder.
Yeah, by they can hinder product by saying, "Oh yeah, man, that's it," or "Yeah, Mike, that's it," or
I wrote an article on Bringing Down the Band about the 10 reasons why you're failing as a rapper, probably like 3 or 4 years ago. And one of the numbers is you have too many yes men around you.
You have too many yes men. So. Anytime you can play a record, to someone that I would consider, we'll say inner circle, or somebody that you grew up with, that you think is going to be honest with you. Sometimes there's a bias that you can't see, and they're just going to automatically say, "Yo, that's dope," or "Yo, yeah, Mike, that's it." But you have to play it for that person that sometimes they may not be that familiar with you. You may not have grown up with them. You may not have experienced a lot of stuff with them.
I mean, that's just like with you and Shine when y'all make music.
Right.
I listen to it. There's some joints I just listen to and be like, cool.
Yep.
And then it's always, another jump. That's it right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just my personal feeling about certain things. And that doesn't mean that the other songs were bad.
Right.
It's just that these are the ones that
stuck out to you.
That stuck out to me, kind of spoke to me a little more than the other ones did.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like it took me a while to understand the importance of playing records for people that don't know me. You know what I'm saying? Or people that are not familiar with me, or we didn't grow up together. Hey man, listen to this. I just want to get an opinion on it. And just shut up and let them listen to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll hear, it's not for me, or sometimes you'll hear, yo, that's amazing, or sometimes you'll hear, it's cool, but it didn't move me like that. And then you take that and digest it however you want to.
I think an important thing about what you just said, both of you guys just said, is that you have to know who. You have to take it a step further than that. As from a musician standpoint, you have to know who is listening.
Yes.
You have to know who these people are. You have to know what they're listening to.
Yes.
If I let Brad hear something, I know what Brad likes to hear.
Yep.
So I already know kind of what, depending on what I play, what he's going to like and what he's not. And same with you guys for the most part. I mean, it varies.
It will.
But that is important to take back to the lab with you. If you play something for somebody that they just don't like this certain style of thing anyways, that feedback is not going to help you much, and vice versa.
And at the end of the day, friends aren't going to let you put out a whack project.
If they're your real friends.
That's right.
Just because you got a project and they want to go to the show with you or whatever. Whoever knows what the scenario is.
Whatever the perks are that come.
You're not about to let your friends put out some whack shit.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've been lucky to have friends or people that I grew up with, or just people that I've worked on music with, that will just flat out say, "Mike, that's whack." You need that sometime. You know what I'm saying? You need that, because
you also need the ones that's going to tell you that it's good and genuinely mean that that it's good.
Yes, even the people that can expand on it and say it's good. Here's why.
Right.
This is why I like it. Right. And then you listen for the things that they say. You take that. You go back and do what you will with it. So I think that's very important for people that are up and coming or aspiring artists. You got to take all that into consideration.
Definitely.
So yes, good talk there. I know we have a rundown, but
that was interesting. I didn't expect that conversation.
Yeah, that was organic.
Yeah, it's healthy. It's healthy though, because somebody hopefully will take whatever jewels that may have come from that conversation and try to apply that. So, plus if you want to submit to Bringing Down the Band, these are the gentlemen that you'll have to go through. So
we hear you.
Now you know the criteria. Moving on though, I think, and shout out to my cousin James, he told me he was keeping track of how long we haven't talked about Agent Orange. So I can't remember the exact number, so I don't want to misquote him, but I think we're in
probably about 3 episodes.
I would say, I think he said maybe closer to 5 to 7 where we haven't talked to him. Yeah.
Has it been that many?
Yeah, like it's longer than I thought.
We've been avoiding the plague.
It's approaching 10. Like I think he told me it's closer to 10. So shout out to my cousin Nave. He definitely
he's done a few things since then.
He has, and I figured I'd throw this one out there. He's got a couple. One of them is obvious, but I'll come back to that one. But a guy that I'm very fond of because I think he's hilarious has decided to step down.
You're fond of him though?
I'm fond of him because he's hilarious.
It leads to good
Is that all it?
Saturday Night Live.
That's yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah. They pretty much had him down pat.
Boy.
So
She was awesome too. So funny.
So here's a report. Washington Post says Sean Spicer, the White House press secretary, resigned Friday after telling President Trump he vehemently, sorry about that, Lone, I know you keeping track, disagreed with his appointment of Anthony, and I'm going to screw this up, but I'm going to try. Scaramucci. Is that my right, Spoolz?
I believe so.
Scaramucci, Scaramucci, a New York financer, as his new communications director. So the way I understood it is he literally quit or resigned.
He should have hired like Killer Mike or something.
Shout out to Killer Mike.
I
I
bet
don't
Killer
think
Mike
Killer
would
Mike
not
is
work
working
for
with
Donald
that.
Trump.
Nah.
Yeah, he'd body everybody in the White House.
I didn't say he would last long, but it would be cool if he.
It'd be great to see how long he would last.
I don't think
though.
he would start. Yeah.
But yeah,
He's not going to orientation.
No. He's not gonna return that phone call, I don't think.
Nah, not at all. But Spicer's resigned. He really resigned on the spot. And what they said was Trump was like, you can't resign. We need you. And it says after offering Mr. Scaramucci the job on Friday morning, Mr. Trump asked Mr. Spicer to stay on as press secretary. He declined that as well.
Spicer did?
Yeah.
He said nah.
It's a wrap. So
Nah, bro.
I didn't realize
This is going to be a no for me, dog.
yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, fam.
Nah.
Spicer's top deputy, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, will serve as press secretary instead. And icing on the cake for me with all this news was there's a speech where Trump says Obamacare has been, quote, I'm going to paraphrase here, has been, quote unquote, ruining the world, or however he said it,
For how
for
long?
17 years.
Yeah.
So who's trolling him?
Who's trolling him? I don't know who's trolling him, man. But
Was that like Spicer? So did he write that stuff too?
I don't think so.
He just did the press stuff, right?
I think he just did the press. But here's the thing, though: if you watch the video, there are people that are behind him. The facial expressions are hilarious because they're kind of like, you can see Mike Pence kind of looking at the teleprompter like, is that in there? Like, did somebody really put that in
It's
there?
been like 7
It's
years, right?
17 because he did a 8-year term.
Right.
It didn't start the day he went into office.
Exactly.
So it's been 7 years, probably. It's probably what it was.
So this would take Obamacare back to what, the Bush administration per the president. Is that right?
Definitely.
Wasn't Spicer the one that said the thing about him sitting down and talking with Martin Luther King Jr. or something along those lines, or how Martin Luther King Jr. had great
He was talking
great
about
policies
I
or
think he said
something?
Frederick
No,
was
that was
Frederick
Douglass.
Douglass.
Yeah, he said something.
And he
About,
was
I think he
talking-
said something about King too, man. He was
It was something like-
he was a mess.
Something like Frederick Douglass is a great man, or
Yeah,
something.
he's referring
Yeah.
to him like he's alive and well. You know what I mean?
He's
Yeah.
doing good things.
He's doing great
Yeah,
things.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So I don't know how people are taking
That's
this.
your man's in there.
That's your man's.
It
in
all
them.
started with his inauguration. I guess with his inauguration, when he's like, it was the largest inauguration anyone's ever attended.
Yeah.
And then somebody
that
said-
was the first
And it was like
alternative
whoa.
fact
Yep.
Yeah.
introduced during his
It was like,
And
term.
they had side by side pictures of President Obama and
He's
the
he's
inauguration
actually
this year.
got a photoshopped picture of the
Side by side?
inauguration. Trump has a picture of it.
Oh yeah, in his hotels.
Oh,
Not in the hotel. I think it's in the White House.
Is it the Time magazine thing?
I don't know. Is it?
it's
I know he does have a picture of the inauguration.
It's Photoshop.
Oh, okay, that's something different.
But the way you can make an angle look any kind of way you want it to look. So
Hilarious.
it made it look like it was a lot of people there, but
Hey man,
that's that
Awesome.
alternative fact that goes into history books and teaches people the wrong stuff and
Spoolz, am I the only
goes
person?
down that rabbit hole.
Spoolz, am I the only person that feels like there are other countries that are actually laughing hysterically at the things that are going on
Oh,
in
I'm
the
sure.
highest office in the land for the United States of America.
I mean, I can't imagine how other countries feel. I imagine it's pretty funny, but
I literally took a picture of it while I was in Thailand.
funny or scary, maybe. Even.
There was a
You know?
picture.
Yes.
There was a picture. I was I don't remember where I was at, but I was in Thailand. There was a picture of President Obama. I think he may have been knocking out Putin,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was something else that had to do with Trump. It's pretty much them mocking the whole Trump being the president of the United States when you just had President Obama, who they quote unquote try to say that he's the worst president in history. We all know that's not true.
Who's they? People in Thailand or people?
No,
here?
no, I'm talking about people here in general.
Oh, gotcha.
Because there were people that thought that racism didn't exist until
Right wing
Obama
white people.
became president.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
So
That's
how did
amazing.
people in Thailand feel about Obama in general?
That's
I'm
a
not
good
sure.
question.
I didn't really talk to anybody about it. It was just interesting.
Certainly a lot more
I can
qualified.
show
than
y'all the picture. I'm
Trump.
gonna have to find it. But
Perhaps we could flash this on our episode.
No, but
Probably not.
Okay.
Just
Sorry about that.
he shot him down. Not a good idea, he says.
I'm just probably will forget. That's all. Only
That's
reason why I
fine.
say that.
That's
so,
all right.
But
No.
no, it's pretty wild, man.
The
Like,
the thing I was talking about was the fake Trump on the Time cover that's like on his golf courses or something around. It was like
okay.
4,800 fake Time magazine with his face on it floating around.
At this point, man, I'm, and we've alluded to this a
Awesome.
lot, but I'm just never, at this point, I'm never surprised, man. I'm never surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's just not a good look.
Now that's classic.
yeah, so
Now that's classic.
this is basically like right before. This was still left up after the election,
Right.
but they're pretty much like saying that there's no way that they're going to elect Trump into office.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can find the picture, I might throw it up there just for Mike's sake.
Circle of
Oh,
life.
For Mike's sake, man.
It's a check mark there for Spoolz. Keep track.
It's a light check mark.
It was like a painful one too.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All right,
So
I'm
I
gonna
guess
make it.
I guess we broke the streak, but
Something else interesting happened with him too.
what's
well,
that?
really, his son. I don't think we talked about the whole.
The Russian accountability.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole conversations going on between his son and
I'm not
Russia
that well versed on that one, so I probably couldn't speak too much on that one. I'd have to do a little more research. Did you?
well, basically what it boiled down to was Russia was saying that they had emails corresponding with Hillary Clinton,
Wow.
which I mean
Trump Jr. and Hillary Clinton.
Trump Jr. No, Trump Jr.
In Russia.
in Russia had some conversation about possible conversations between Hillary and Russia
Gotcha.
that was supposed to get turned over to Trump Jr., but never happened. And now it's like recently coming out or something like that. I'm not sure.
Dude, I don't even care. It's so.
It's
Yeah.
such a clown show, man.
It is, man. It's so hard to.
It's a mockery, man.
He talked about pardon, if he could pardon himself. Like, there's so much that we haven't talked about because it's been so long, but it's just all
I'm
a clown
so
show.
I'm so desensitized from him at this point.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a shame because I probably should be paying him more attention.
Yeah,
than
I
am.
feel like I should be too, but it's really hard to not be just not care. You know.
He's also a little butthurt that his dad is president because he can't move like he wants to move as far as making
Oh man.
business decisions.
Mm.
So he's been like, I can't wait till this is over.
So dad's hurting his brand a little bit, and,
I guess. I don't know.
wow.
We talk about people hating brands. I don't like his brand.
I'm fine with that.
I don't either.
I don't agree with you not liking Nas or Bismarcky, but
I got a
I'm
question.
cool.
I got a
I'm
question
cool
for
with
you.
that part. Yes, sir.
There's a Jay-Z line
Uh-oh.
that I saw today, and it's
Okay.
something that I've seen people say multiple ways.
444.
No, it's actually earlier.
Okay.
It's off of Heart of the City.
Love that song.
They pray and pray on my downfall, but every time I hit the ground, I bounce up like.
Round
Ball.
Doesn't it make more sense to be ground ball?
No.
No.
What's a ground ball?
From baseball, a ground ball?
No,
bounce
bounce
up.
bounce
Oh,
a
I see
bounce
what
up like Like
Round ball,
like basketball.
Basketball, round ball is another term for basketball.
Yeah.
He'd have to say bounce up like a ground ball, which would mess up the lyrics.
It would mess up the delivery and the flow, but I don't know. I always every time I heard that lyric, I heard bounce up like ground ball, meaning that it was just you never knew where it was going to come from.
I see where you're
See that?
going,
Yeah, that
but
makes sense.
But a bounce, regular balls is going to come the same way every time.
Sure. I mean, Jay has different entendres and way he says stuff, so it
Let's
could have
not get
been
into
on
him.
both.
it could have easily been said that way. It still works,
Coulda.
but I think it's I think he was round ball. I think round ball works. It's
Yeah.
on wax.
Then I don't like it.
Okay,
You say you don't like it.
but like
I like
he
my
had to
version.
add that in.
that's fine. Like I'm not.
If you go back and listen to it, if you listen close, it kind of sounds like he may
Are you
have
using
tried
Trump hands?
to kind of.
You did.
If you go back and listen to it, you can almost hear where it kind of sounds like he's it's like maybe he forgot a letter on it, but
Yeah.
he just let it roll,
Yep.
or maybe not. And then he was just like, "Hey, well, that works too."
You know, it's like 12 different layers to whole lyrics. So
Is there?
yeah,
It's not 12.
I mean, I'm giving that's a compliment to me.
It's
His
not
bars
that
is
deep. No, and as a Jay-Z fan, I'm going to go out. I'm going to put this out there. Jay is not deep on that level. He will give you some lines that mean like 2 and 3 different things,
That's pretty hard to do though, man. Consistently. Well,
but he's not doing 12 different things.
okay. I'm sorry.
Nah.
I'm sorry. I apologize. It's only
Terry
like two.
did not accept your
Let me say it
apology.
again. Let me say it again. So there's only like 2 or 3 different layers to it.
Man, maybe a couple. Here's
He
my,
definitely he definitely has double and triple entendres on stuff.
He does
But
it with
so does-
ease, though. Is what I'm saying.
So does a lot of people, though. I guess my thing is this: he doesn't write, right? He writes in his head, or he goes in there and he just kind of goes off stuff and they piece stuff together a lot of times.
Which
right?
to me is absolutely amazing considering the lyrics that he puts out.
Because there's another
Is it?
artist that does
I don't
that,
know.
and
I think
he's
so.
not good at it anymore. Lil Wayne.
I don't rap, so
I don't
maybe
know,
that's
but see,
why I'm
my thing is that I
fascinated.
kind of like Jay. I don't like. I've never liked Wayne. So, but when
You
I
didn't
listen,
like early Wayne?
nah,
You didn't like Carter 1 Wayne?
No.
Really?
I thought Wayne was trash, and I'll look right into the camera. You can quote me on this.
I never-
thought he was trash when he was with the Hot Boys.
I
and
never
Cash
thought he
Money
was
and all that.
trash.
I thought he was
honestly,
trash.
honestly, when he was with the Hot Boys, I heard him as the kind of one that was going to break ground.
I didn't do wobbly Wayne.
Nah, I mean, no.
I'm
But
sorry.
he was the youngest.
Wobble.
And
Now the
he,
Carters, I was.
he had some punchlines
I
and
was
whatnot.
cool.
When he got to,
But
what was it?
it was
500 degrees?
Juvenile.
It was so basic.
400
No,
degrees.
no.
I'm sorry. That's 400
400
degrees.
degrees was Juvenile.
That's Juvie. I'm sorry.
500 degrees was Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. Yeah.
He was dropping gems on there.
I thought Wayne was better than I thought, and eventually turned into cold on the Carter series.
Carter.
That's when I jumped in and was like,
Carter
okay.
1, Carter 2
Yep. I was like, Lil Wayne
is
can rap.
very good to
Yep,
me,
he can rap.
personally.
But he was trash with the Hot Boys.
No Ceilings is very good to me.
Funny you say no ceilings. I was just about to say, but he has a ceiling.
I
And
like that.
that he
Spoolz.
can't get past.
That went over your head.
And the thing is,
I
is
don't know what
that,
he means.
and to me, Jay's the
I'll have to
same way
find out
to an
when we-
extent. And
yeah.
the only reason I say that is because of how he
Spoolz.
writes. Because he isn't somebody that will sit down and dice. Well, then again, you know what? I don't want to talk out my head because I don't know how exactly he writes. But it doesn't seem when I listen to his stuff, like I'll hear the double entendres and stuff
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
I don't hear anything that is thoroughly metaphorical.
That's fair.
Like thoroughly
that's fair.
metaphorical. I can see basic metaphors and I can see that stuff, but I don't see anything that's really, really thorough in a lot of his stuff like that. Where I listen to it and be like, oh, this goes to, like
Wayne, I'll tell you what, Wayne is.
I don't want to put Wayne in the category of Jay because I don't think
No,
they're even close.
But
But
the only reason I said that is because Wayne doesn't write his stuff. And it's starting to show now. It's actually been showing for about 3 years.
Isn't he
Okay.
working on like some sort of rock project or something?
He already did that. That
Did he?
was
it was
that
called,
was that was right after the
I can't remember.
third
the name.
quarter.
Oh,
I
I'm
believe.
way behind on my Lil Wayne.
Yeah, that was like 08.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
he
Yeah,
it was
like a
almost
rock
like
project?
he had
Is he doing
acoustic
another
records on
one?
there too. Yeah.
I don't think he's doing
Oh,
another one, but yeah, that's old Wayne, and that album bombed.
Yeah, dude. He's never done it for me, man. I mean, but I like Juvenile. I have always liked Juvenile for sure.
Mhm.
I definitely 400 Degrees is a really dope album.
I like 400 Degrees because of the nostalgia factor and because of where I was.
400
when I
Degrees
heard
was
it.
solid to me.
I'm
And then
glad.
Manny Fresh. Manny Fresh is a really dope producer,
Mhm.
and he laced 400 Degreez.
Yeah, he did.
I'm glad he said that.
Dope album.
I'm glad he said that because I know this is we've been in and out of these organic conversations, which I think is dope. He talked about 400 Degreez. Now, I had this conversation with one of my homies about the difference between a classic album and what I call a cult classic. So
yeah, because we had that conversation about Masterpiece Ghetto Dope.
see, I think Ghetto Dope, like we talked about, is a cult classic. But I also think 400 Degreez is a cult classic. Now, when I put 400 Degreez with Illmatic, when I put it with Reasonable Doubt, to me, there's no comparison. But you can't ignore the importance of 400 Degreez.
See,
Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying, but this is what I will
opinions
say
at that
to
point.
that. I was on like all that Illmatic,
Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt, even Mace's first album. I ain't even gonna
Harlem
front.
World.
Harlem World was nice. That album though, 400 Degreez, when it came out,
Right.
I did not stop listening to it.
That's fair.
I listen to it a lot as well.
Yeah.
Like it was literally like always on repeat.
Yeah.
But
I think it's a cult classic.
does that mean that it's a classic?
I
though?
can still listen to it right now. I can ride around and listen to it right now.
I think
if I had some 12s in my trunk right now, I would ride around listening to 400
No, I
Degreez.
understand. That's
I think
one of the
400
main
Degreez.
reasons why I listen to it. Though.
Go ahead, Spoolz.
I think it's a classic for sure.
Period.
Not,
Just
not
classic,
just a cult
period.
classic. I think
Okay.
Ghetto Dope's a classic too, man. I think there's a couple No Limit albums in there that should be considered classic albums. I think that True double disc.
What was
Yeah,
it?
that
is-
Fiend.
So I
Mac-
don't know about Fiend as a classic. I
What
think
about-
Max Shell Shock is one of
Max
the best
Shell
No
Shock.
Limit albums that ever came
Mac's
out
the
with.
best MC or rapper that was ever on No Limit.
What about Mystical, the puzzle piece?
Yeah,
Unpredictable. That's a good
Unpredictable.
album.
Yeah,
now
I like
that's
that
probably a No Limit classic.
Mind the
Unpredictable.
Mystical was good too though.
C Murder's first project was really, really good. I can't remember what it was
Life
called.
what was it
but
called?
Let me
Life
ask
or
you
Life or
this.
Death. Yeah.
I'm gonna just throw a whole
I went to
nother
No Limit
scenario
High
in
School,
here.
so I apologize.
So
no, I
so if Uzi Vert came out in the early 90s, would he be Cash Money or would he be No Limit?
Neither.
He wouldn't make it.
He wouldn't make it on either
Neither.
one of those.
You don't think
one of
so?
those. Nah. I can't see Lil Uzi Vert rocking a Saint Laurent blouse next to the Hot Boys sagging.
Nah, he wouldn't. I'm not talking about.
I'm talking about
attire.
appearance,
I'm talking about
music,
his-
all
saying
of
as
that.
far
Yeah.
as
Style.
style.
Like
No.
musical style.
You don't
Nah.
think he
Right.
would make it?
Nah, he can't hang. He wouldn't be able to hang with the Hot Boys.
Hmm.
Or who'd you say? Or No Limit.
He wouldn't be able to be in the Sons of Funk.
I can't see Lil.
Sons of Funk. Yes.
I can't see Lil Uzi.
You don't
Vert.
see him on a track with Skullduggery?
No, I can't see him and Silk on track 12.
Oh
of
boy.
Charge to the
You know
Game.
what? Him and Silk have similarities.
Silk nicer than Lil Uzi Vert.
Is he?
I can
Hey,
see a
man.
Silk Uzi Vert track though.
Is he though?
The Shocker album. is-
Hey,
Oh,
Charges to
man.
the Game is better than
I
any
think
project
the one
Lil
before
Uzi
that.
Vert has put out
Sick of
thus
the
far.
Silk.
Ah!
I mean, Uzi Vert actually got a couple songs that are pretty nice.
He's
though.
not nice
So
to
does
Silk,
Silk
though.
though.
Charges
Silk got a whole album that's cool to me.
Charges
Which
to the
one?
Game is one of the best
Shocker
No
or
Limit
Charge It
albums
to the
ever.
Game?
Charge to the
Charge
Game.
It to
Yeah.
the Game.
You guys didn't like the
I like
Shocker?
I like a handful of songs off the Shocker.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a bad
It
album.
was like coming out of the TV on the.
yeah,
Their artwork for their early albums was so bad.
yeah, that Pen and
It ain't
Pixel.
my
No,
fault.
I'm talking about before Pen and Pixel.
Oh, it was awful on the Shocker.
Yeah, it was like I'm bad at it's like two hands like this, and there's blood running down it, and then you can
Oh,
barely
yeah, I
see like
remember
the
that.
letters of like the CD. Like,
Listen, man.
hey, the I'm About It soundtrack.
Charges
that's
to the
solid.
Game is one of the best No Limit albums that ever came out.
We know about the Down South Hustlers albums.
Yeah,
Those are
man.
good.
Charges to the Game alone, no. One of the best albums ever put out for
What
No
songs
Limit.
are on that?
It Ain't My Fault.
Kick Dough.
Give Me the World.
Kick Dough with UGK.
Let Me Hit It. had some heat.
It's not even comparable to like Mystical's Unpredictable to me. though.
Nah,
It's
You know
not.
what I mean, if
It's
you
not.
go back, and I did a few years ago.
Let
and
Me
you,
Hit It was that track though.
if
It
you,
was.
It was.
I
But if-
might
Thank
have
you.
to spin that out. here
But if
pretty
you go,
short.
if you go back and listen to
Unpredict-
it ain't my fault.
Yep.
Listen to how the engineers synced up the vocals and the ad libs on that track, and tell me you still like it.
Oh, it's all over the place.
It was really, really hard to listen. Like really
Yeah,
hard.
It was all over the place.
And this was like a hit on MTV.
Huge record.
Like this was a major record.
Yeah.
And I go back and listen to it now, like, wow, it's amazing.
It goes back
So-
to what we talked about. I'm coming to you, Spoolz.
Yeah.
It goes back to what we talked about with the ear and how you listen to things. there's somebody that was in high school with us or younger than us that loves It Ain't My Fault that never thought about the vocals. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
We all
exactly
came from the generation that had beats in their car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and it's
so
beat.
and going back to the comment of 400 Degreez being a classic, I think it might be.
That's fair. That's fine.
You know, because
The album was cold.
you got to think of the landscape of where music was at that point in time too. You know, that was like crossover to the South at that point.
Agreed.
You know, that's like a very crucial
Well,
album.
it was actually it was a different side of the South.
That's
So-
what I mean.
So you had Outkast who were they were definitely Outkast.
This was like New Orleans. What?
Yeah.
Isn't that where he's from?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, they had New Orleans sold
And then
up.
you had 8Ball and MJG. You had Scarface. You had UGK.
Yeah.
When Cash Money and No Limit came out, they were Southern arts too, but it was just different.
Yeah.
Oh, it was very
You know what I'm saying?
different.
So it had that New Orleans bounce to it. They're both from New Orleans.
So it was Manny
So it-
as well, right?
Jump
Yeah.
in, jump
Manny
in,
is
Spoolz.
as
I know
well,
you,
but no, they did.
you know
They
you
did
got a
have a
point.
different sound back then when they came. I remember when I first heard, I was like, I'd never heard anything like that before.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't East Coast. It wasn't. It was different from all those, Southern acts that I also love that you just mentioned. You know what I'm saying? But here's what I'm gonna say though about this, because we were talking about classic albums.
Yes.
A lot of those No Limit records you guys mentioned, I don't think are classic in the way that 400 Degreez is classic.
I would agree
Mm.
with that absolutely.
We just started rambling off a whole bunch of No Limit records, and I would disagree with 2/3 or 3/4 of what you just
Unpredictable to me is going at
That's the
400
only-
degrees.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
the
pretty
only
sure
one,
it's
though.
nice.
I think that's going at 400
Mac
degrees.
Shell Shock was nice.
It was very nice.
Fiend's album is not a classic like 400 Degrees.
It's
No,
not.
it was a
I
good
agree
album.
with that. I
You know
agree
what
with
I'm
It was a
that.
good album though.
Mac Shell Shocked is a good album.
That's
Mac,
a damn
Mac
good
was,
album.
Mac was Mac. I think he was the best like rapper / MC in
He had
on
some
No Limit.
Yeah,
Period,
he had some
man.
heat. He had some
That dude
heat.
could rap, man.
Yeah, he
like,
had some heat.
Period. He could just rap. I don't know, but this is just my opinion. 400 Degrees to me is like a step or two above Unpredictable.
Yeah, I would agree with that too.
You know,
I
as
don't
far
know.
as
I
as
think
far
so,
as a
too.
classic from the No Limit side that would be matchable to 400 Degrees, I think you could say the True Double Disc,
That's only
or maybe
Ghetto
Ghetto
Dope?
Dope.
See, Ghetto Dope in terms of reception, I think Ghetto Dope. You could argue Ghetto Dope was bigger than 400 degrees.
You know, Ice Cream Man is a really dope album. What's funny about these dudes, especially Cash Money too, is
I think it's more cult classic though.
Ice Cream Man,
Ghetto Dope.
Ghetto Dope. Yeah, I could see that.
In
Dude,
terms
these
of the-
dudes were rapping way before they became popular, like in the spotlight. Like, and I know that's but like BG had made 5 albums, I think, before
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Hot Boys had ever come out. Like they
Turk,
were.
and all those cats were rapping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was listening to an interview with Wayne, and I again never was a huge fan, but he's been rapping since he was like 12, man.
Yeah.
Literally though,
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
like literally, yeah. He's
So,
been rapping a long time, man. He's
they've been
rapping
doing
long
it a
time.
while before they ever, blew up or whatever. I actually, as far as No Limit too, I really respect. I like Master P a lot, man. Like, not as a rapper. I never thought he was that good of a rapper. I did when I was 19 because it was popular and different. But, and I like some of those older beats. Like the beats on Ice Cream Man are really grimy and like they're different than what they were when they got more popular.
Shout out
I
to Beats
guess.
by the Pound.
Anyhow,
TLC,
man,
you know.
Master P, man, he's smart, man. He's
What
an
about-
extremely intelligent dude. He makes a ton of money. I mean, I'm not saying I love him because he makes a ton of money, but like he's really he's someone that's really listen to him when he's talking in interviews, man.
Mhm.
Like he's giving people game just like all these other folks we've mentioned before. Like if you really listen to him, man.
So what about this?
and he's
'Cause
about what he says he's about. Seems to be.
there's another artist that we're gonna kind of touch on in this episode, which has a similar situation to this. That's why I'm gonna go here. 3-6 Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. DJ Paul definitely created his own sound
Yeah.
as far as beats.
Yep.
Yeah.
He has some really nice beats.
First person to use a lot of, and it just for me, he was heavy on the Willie Hutch.
Man,
Heavy on the Willie Hutch. Heavy on
his bass
shout out
drops
to-
was crazy.
Shout out to my man Mac Wolf Preach. You know what I'm talking about.
Man, that running, if you ain't running,
Yeah.
shit with Chuck.
Oh,
Man, that
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
that's from the 12 speaker.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Yeah, that
But
goes.
there's somebody in that camp Juicy J is still relevant.
Mhm.
He is.
Yep.
He kind of reinvented himself to fit into what's going on now,
Yep.
A lot of
Absolutely.
cats did.
which goes to Titty Boy,
Yep.
who is now 2 Chainz,
Mhm.
Shout out to Player Circle.
who reinvented himself and is now pretty prevalent on the scene as far as what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to kind of shoot that to Spoolz because he had seen an article recently about
Yeah, I saw the
2 Chainz and a situation he's going to be a part of.
like an interview with I think it was
Ebro.
no, it was
Breakfast Club.
No, the podcast like Joe Budden and Academics, the Everyday Struggle.
Everyday
thing.
Struggle. Yeah.
And it was like a 45-minute long interview, man. But it was good. So he's working on a project, and I guess Q-Tip is going to be a part of it.
I love this idea, by the way.
Which I imagine who knows in what capacity, if he's like executive producer, or actually going to be
said
on
he's
some
gonna-
tracks or whatever.
he
But
says he's
like,
gonna mold the direction of it.
Yeah. and I think that's dope, man. And anyways, in this interview, which I recommend, it's really good, man. I think 2 Chainz is sharp, man. That dude's, I believe, in his 40s, if I'm not mistaken.
Very
Early
smart.
40s, late 30s, early
Close.
40s.
Probably, yeah.
Close. Late 30s. He's close.
All right.
Very smart though. Very smart.
And he's still very relevant in a game that is mostly young,
Yep.
very young people. You know what I mean?
Reinvented himself.
Yep.
And well, the
Mhm.
guy seems to be doing very well for himself, and he just has a lot of wisdom, man. You know,
I
what
really
mean?
like
yeah.
his last album.
Yeah, which one? The Pretty Girls Like Trap.
I like it.
Yeah, I haven't
We was
checked it
just
out yet.
listening to it the other night, leaving the 400 Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
I,
how much he liked it, but I like it.
I'm a
It's
fan
cool.
of that.
We only heard like a song or two.
It's solid.
Yeah.
It's very solid. Yep.
I always like the Freebase EP a lot, man.
He's 39.
39.
He'll be 40 in September.
Okay.
Very quick. I like that long.
So, but no, man, and in this interview, I guess what I was driving at is that he was talking about the difference between, and Mike, I know you said you've seen an interview or read an article where he talked about this as well, where like the difference between, for him, making music that is what he wants to make,
Yep.
what he feels like making, what's in him,
Yep.
and the difference between that and then making music that you know is going to sell well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And on this side, the first thing I mentioned, like, you don't care if it sells well. You're just making what, you're trying to make some good music.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then on the other side, it's, what's hot right now. Okay, I kind of, I'll put my own style on it as far as 2 Chainz is concerned, but then I'm going to put this out. Plus, he's just popular enough to where as long as he doesn't put out something that's totally awful,
Mm-hmm.
people are going to buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they'll definitely gravitate towards it.
But, man, I'm looking forward to hearing a 2 Chainz album that's more this side of what I talked about, where he just is going to do, and for him to be working with Q-Tip, that's going to be very interesting. Man,
I thought it was very interesting to hear him say, one, that he told Q-Tip he wanted to do a trap Midnight Marauders. Now, for me, I got hyped because that's one of my favorite albums ever.
Yep.
So I'm talking about front to back, the packaging, the CD, all of that. I love Midnight Marauders.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually shined a light on 2 Chainz for me. I've always liked dude. Like, for some reason, 2 Chainz was somebody that I gravitated towards.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know why, but it was something about dude that I've always liked. So I kind of followed him, like the birthday record with Kanye. I was like, yo, I like dude. I liked him when he was in Player Circle. I was like, I don't know, dude in Player Circle could spit. That's before I knew he was Titty Boy or whatever. But I say that to say I was pleasantly surprised and shocked to hear him say in the same interview that Spoolz was talking about how he approaches records in terms of his bars. Like, he's like, if Kanye's on the feature or if I'm rapping with Ludacris from the South, it's a South record or something, like, I'm really trying to go in to murder them. It was dope to hear him say that. Like, I'm really trying to body these guys. And then he was like, on other records where it's going to be just a record that's going to be a single, it's for the younger generation or whomever is going to consume it, radio or whatever, I know how to take my foot off the gas and just give it something so that the product is dope. I never thought I would hear 2 Chainz think that way, but I think it's dope that he does, because that lets me know in his heart he knows that he can rap.
He also said it in a way that is not going to keep people from still wanting to work with him.
Exactly. And you got to respect that.
Yeah. Oh, that's the part I like the most, because that could be taken in a very insulting fashion.
Sure.
By a lot of people,
Sure.
But
shout out to the clock, Long.
But the way he said it, though, it made sense. You know,
I like
I
it,
wasn't that shocked. I thought it was great that he was being honest about it.
Like,
and
do y'all
genuine.
think with Jay-Z recently using No ID exclusively for his project, I think we kind of touched on this a little bit.
Yep.
And this isn't anything new.
Right.
Do you think that the trend is going to start to be to use one producer to kind of gravitate toward the sound that you're trying to get and let that kind of move the music rather than using a bunch of different
I want to throw that to
producers?
Lone.
Yeah.
I want to throw that to Lone. Do you think there'll be a resurgence in that in terms of the one producer, one MC? You've done that before. You're doing that now. Shout out to my man P. Say.
Yeah. On a mainstream level, I don't know. Maybe.
Do you think it worked?
Yeah, I think it would. I think it depends on who it is.
Because with Hov, to your point, when we talked about 444, I think your quote was he can do
whatever he wants.
Yeah. So I'm not knocking the project. I thought it was dope, but I'm just saying I don't know if 2 Chainz can.
I think he could, if depending on who the producer is.
So let's say hypothetically to
think about it like this.
Okay.
You got Killer Mike, you got LP.
Yep.
It's two worlds.
Yep.
You got LP's world, you got Killer Mike's world. They came together. Run the Jewels is amazing.
Yep.
Jay-Z and No ID, they're fairly similar because they're kind of same circle-ish.
Same ages too.
Kind of a little bit, but it's Jay, so that's all that matters.
Okay.
If 2 Chainz does it with Q-Tip, that's big because Q-Tip is big in his world and so is 2 Chainz.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you have Mike Will Made It and 𝐀𝐲, who's going to notice?
Yeah, that's expected.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
You know, if you have Bun B and Kanye West or, something like that, I think it's going to stand out, a little bit more than something that you wouldn't think of.
Even if let's say Tip doesn't entirely produce, we'll say 2 Chainz next record, the fact that he's executive producer speaks to his point. I'm saying that to say, I think that still brings in that fusion, that crowd.
Maybe.
Because he's executive. It's going to get me. It'll have me.
It probably won't get me.
It'll have me. I mean,
I think I will probably listen to it because I'll be curious, but it's not going to. I'm not going to look at it the same way as if it was like Q-Tip legitimately producing.
Did on the beats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's yeah. We agree to disagree on that one because I'm in just with Tip being,
because who knows what Tip's involvement is.
Yeah,
that's fair. I'm excited
because
though.
I'm looking for the sound. I don't care about his mind in that aspect.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
I'm curious what their sound's going to be like together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what
if
would
they're
be
even
dope
together.
If he is together,
Right. Yeah.
Like
what would
that.
be dope though, with this whole Timberland Swiss Beast thing.
Right.
What if they made albums to where they executively produced the whole album? Both of them did the same thing and then battle. So whose album was
the
better?
best?
Rather than just going at, we just gonna do these beats back and forth with these same drum patterns.
I see what you did there because we didn't even talk. I don't think we addressed this last
We didn't.
show, but yeah, in terms of the beat battles, in terms of what Timbo was playing on Instagram and all that, I was like, I know Swizz did not just play the same drum pattern 3 times on the same video and just tweak a synth and tweak this and that. I was like, dude, you're too good for that. That's not gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut it with Timbo. That is not gonna cut it.
But do you think that could happen?
I think that would be dope. I don't know if it could happen, but I think it would be dope.
I don't know. It wouldn't interest me.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
It'd be interesting
because I can form my own opinion about the projects, I guess. If they're sitting down playing beats that I may not know what they're going to play, then I'm a little bit more interested, I think.
Fresh material, right?
Got you.
Okay.
So you want to look at it more as a hands-on just battle.
New material now.
I'm curious. Yeah, new material. I'm curious what they're going to throw out there. Like what are you going to play that I haven't heard?
So you don't want what Swizz and Just did where they're going hit for hit.
I mean, I can make my own opinion on whether or not that whole battle really didn't interest me at all.
Okay.
It was simple.
Yeah.
It was very simple.
But
I think they're trying to
neat.
market something. I think they're trying to market something that's bigger than them just going back and forth on Instagram.
Maybe.
You know who I want to see lose
Who?
to everybody?
Nas.
Knots. Who's gonna go up against Knots?
That'd be a tall order.
Ain't
I don't know who would do that.
Nobody's gonna win.
Not beat wise. I don't know who.
Nobody's
would do
gonna beat Knots.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
not beat wise. That'd be tough.
Not Jake.
That'd be
Not Jake
weird.
one.
No.
I think
No?
Jake one would get. Yeah, he'd get bodied by Knots.
Jake one's dope and he's very versatile, but
Not for Knots.
like battle beats, I don't
It's
know.
it's some local producers here though, like Soul Cinematic.
Soul Cinematic's dope, but Knots is Knots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
That's a whole different.
Knots will sit down on like Instagram and make 5 beats, and they're all like the best beats you've ever heard.
Like he pumps them out too, though. It's like
every day.
he just numbers the videos. I look up and Knots has put up like 12 videos today.
They're all nuts, you know.
Yeah,
and they're very,
yeah.
very few producers I think that can go toe to toe with Knots on like anything.
He puts out
And I know a lot of producers that are really, really good.
high volume but high quality
Yeah,
beats.
Mhm.
That's hard to do, man. To pump out beat after beat after beat, and there's rarely a fall off on the quality.
And he's got a very thick catalog.
I like
Yeah.
Marco Polo as well in that regard.
Oh,
I don't know if
that's
you guys
he
listen to
slept
Marco
on.
Polo.
Dude's talented.
He's consistent with the
he's-
sound.
I like.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
he's talented.
so
that's a
what do
good
y'all
name.
think the angle is with the whole Swiss Beats Timberland battle thing?
A follow up to the, I guess if you would, the success is subjective. So I thought the last battle got a lot of pub. To Lone's point, depending on how you look at it, could have been okay. It was cool. They just played famous records. I think they're trying to piggyback off the success of everybody being excited about that last one. Looking at it as like it's almost like a tournament. Like, well, okay, Swiss, quote unquote, which I think is laughable, beat Just Blaze.
Who's throwing these?
They're coming off the top of their head.
Okay, so then there's,
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
got like a camera set up. They're in the lab. They making stuff.
but it's not like
using push.
somebody.
Sponsored by whoever. Nah, it's
I mean, it's
none
not
of
like
that.
a series or anything. It's just people deciding to do
That's
it.
be
why
cool.
I'm wondering if it's going to be like something that they're going to actually tour
It could be.
with a beat battle.
But you
Be-
were talking like real quick. You were talking about the single producer albums and stuff.
Yes.
Like that's maybe not to the level that obviously Jay just did, but that's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Like Apollo Brown's really good with that. I'm a huge Apollo Brown
He does
fan. I know
that.
he just
Yeah.
he's in his lane, and I like that lane.
Mm-hmm.
But like OC, Razkaz,
Mm-hmm.
Guilty
Sky Zoo.
Simpson, Skies, you know what I mean? Like the whole album. You know?
Yeah. Just mainstream wise, it's not very. We don't see that much
Yeah.
anymore.
I'd
Yeah.
say that's true.
Yeah, it'd be very impactful if somebody did an album with one producer on the mainstream that
Yeah.
kind of shook up the boat, if you will.
Did Premier? I know it's not mainstream.
Prime.
Did he do all the? Yeah.
Him and Royce.
That's-
Yeah, he and Royce.
I
Now,
know
that
some
was
people don't
crazy.
like that. I love that project, man. And then the joint that the MC8 didn't Premier do.
Primo executive produced, and he produced on the record. I don't think he did everything.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
thought it was. I thought that's what it was, but he was executive producer, and just kind of did a couple jams on it.
Word.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Tim has actually done that though. Like he did all of I mean it's in the pop kind of field of things, but he did all of Leah's stuff.
Yeah.
He did maybe 1 or 2 Justin Timberlake albums. He did Nelly Furtado.
Mm-hmm.
He did his compilation album where he just produced everything on there. So
right.
he's very versatile. Like he's like I would almost say like him and 𝐀𝐿.
Yeah.
Even though 𝐀𝐿 like
Doper.
beat style, he's
Oh, we
doper
see
to me
you,
too.
Lon.
His style is definitely different than Timberland's.
Sure.
That's fair.
But I feel like 𝐀𝐿 can do things that Timberland can't do.
Well, that's cool. I think we can. We'll jump back into that one next week. Sometimes we've been doing a lot of series joints, so I think that's cool. let's pay these bills with the hat real quick. Did we look up the name for this one?
It's just a flex fit. I didn't see the name. Did you?
I didn't see one either. No, but it's
Shout- they got
pretty
the-
sharp, man.
No bad idea. No bad ideas. Flex fit.
Yeah, they got a dope series, man. The Oddity series. I saw a book bag I actually shared on
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah,
as
yeah. I
well.
saw that
so
too.
shout out to No Bad Ideas, Cole Medino. Make sure you keep those teeth right as well.
Yep.
Printfinity's got that merch as always.
Indeed.
We working with the captain right here.
Yep.
Is there anything else I'm missing as we close?
No, sir. Nothing I know of.
Nothing.
I can't think of anything right now.
All right. DJ Jay Diff, Lonegevity, DJ Spoolz. I am Major 7th. That is going to conclude episode number 39. Make sure that you guys go to our Patreon site,
Yes.
YouTube, subscribe. We got buttons and stickers for all our Patreons. No Bad Ideas. Coleman Dental, Printfinity, bringingouttheband.com. I am Major 7th, and we will see you next week. This is a wrap on episode 39, the New Old Heads podcast. Peace.
Thank you.
It pays to engage. I'll just put that out there.
Patreon.com/newoldheads.
Yes, sir.